How to recreate Xabi Alonso's NEVERLUSEN tactics in eFootball. In the 23-24 season, Bayer Leverkusen won the Bundesliga title for the first time in the club's history without losing a single match. After studying their tactics, I was amazed by the team's ability to adapt, controlling possession when needed but also striking with direct counterattacks at the right moments. This video will have 4 main parts: Leverkusen's main tactics, key players, and 2 different approaches to team building, along with their respective online division highlights. Let's get started. Leverkusen was both a possession-dominant team and defensively elite. They recorded the highest passes per sequence while conceding the lowest XG in the Bundesliga. But what made them special was their flexibility, adapting their game plan to win in different ways. I summarized their approach into 4 main tactics. Their base formation was a 3-4-2-1, but it wasn't rigid. It was adjusted based on the opponent. Against weaker teams or those that didn't press high, they built up in a 3-2 shape, with the wingbacks pushing higher to form a front 5. Why did this work? If the opponent didn't press, Leverkusen controlled possession easily. If the opponent decided to press, the DMFs progressed the ball to the front 5, creating a 5 versus 5 or 5 versus 4 in attack. With a back 3, it's usually risky during transition into defense, so they shifted into a back 4 or 5 depending on the situation, with one of or both Grimaldo Frimpong dropping deeper when needed. But what if they faced a technical opponent that presses high? Instead of the 3-2 shape, they switched to a 4-2 shape. One wingback stayed deep, while the other remained high. It was like starting with a 5 at the back but giving only one wingback attacking instruction. With an extra passing option at the back, this ensured the team wasn't caught out by aggressive possession-based teams, and both wingbacks' pace allowed them to join the front 5 as soon as possible. Leverkusen's attack was structured in a 3-2-5 shape, ensuring that one player occupied each of the 5 vertical zones: 2 on the wings, 2 in the half spaces, and 1 in the center channel. The key to their success was the link-up play between the front 5. The center forward held up the ball while the supporting striker or attacking midfielder made runs beyond. If the attacking midfielder drifted wide, the wingback tucked inside to maintain balance. This movement constantly disrupted defensive structures while creating space for each other. But how did they consistently connect with the front 5? The 2 defensive midfielders were crucial. Both of them need short passing ability for safe build-up and long passing ability to break lines, as well as a half-space player like Wirtz linking midfield to attack, ensuring fluid ball progression. Another key tactic Xabi used was overloading one flank before quickly switching play. With a fast wingback, 2 midfielders, a half-space player, and a forward, they could attract defensive pressure to one side. This freed up space on the opposite flank, similar to how PSG exploited Manchester City's pressing. How did they execute it? They committed at least 4 or 5 players to one side, forcing the opponent to shift their defensive shape. The players constantly scanned the other wing to check if the opposite wingback was open. When the moment was right, they played a long diagonal switch to the free wingback, catching the opponent off guard and ending the attack with a cross or a cutback. It was very effective for them because their midfielders had excellent long passing ability and their wingbacks had great pace, allowing them to exploit open space quickly. Against more technical opponents, Leverkusen focused on a compact defensive shape and lethal counterattacks. This was evident in key matches. Only 39% possession but a higher XG in their win against Bayern, and just 44% possession, yet higher XG again against Roma. They did it by defending in a solid back 5, either a 5-3-2 or 5-2-3, keeping defensive lines tight. As explained earlier, they used a 4-2 shape and build-up to deal with high pressing. But the key difference was that they had no hesitation in playing quick passes forward. The front 3 stayed close together, making it easier to link up quickly. With their speedy wingbacks joining the attack, they could exploit high defensive lines instantly. It helped them win even without using their usual possession-based game plan. His vision allowed him to bypass defensive lines with a single pass, instantly accelerating attacks. If he found one of the front 5 directly, they only had to beat one defensive line to create a chance. Against high-pressing teams, he dropped deeper between the center backs, acting as an anchorman to break the press. Him and Palacios or Andrić also played a key role in overloading wide areas before switching play to the opposite wing. Unlike traditional fullbacks who mainly cross from wide areas, they were also goal threats. Their heat maps showed they stayed wide in build-up, but moved inside the box or near it rather than just hugging the touchline. This positioning allowed them to rotate with attacking midfielders, creating confusion for defenders man-marking. Their goal-scoring ability was reflected in their percentile stats, proving they weren't just traditional wingbacks who focus on crosses. Their pace was also crucial for switching play, ensuring the opposite flank was always an option. The most crucial piece linking the defensive midfielders to the front line was Wirtz. He dominated the half space, a unique skill set that allowed him to operate between the lines effortlessly. In a 5 versus 5 scenario when the opponent pressed high, the defensive midfielders sometimes struggled to find targets. In these moments, Wirtz dropped deeper to relieve pressure, forming a 3-3 or 4-3 shape. Then he used his balance and movement to carry the ball forward and initiate attacks, as well as finishing it. The first tactic is to replicate Xabi's approach when dominating possession. The team playstyle should be possession to accurately reflect their strategy of overloading one side and utilizing flexible positioning. The goalkeeper should be an offensive keeper. The central CB should be a tall build-up CB. The wide CBs can have any playstyle, but it's preferred to have a left-footed CB on the left and a right-footed CB on the right. The double pivot should consist of an anchorman, orchestrator, or an anchorman box-to-box pairing. The wingbacks can have any playstyle except for defensive fullback, but a left-footed player should be on the left and a right-footed player on the right. The AMF should be a skilled hole player or a creative playmaker like Wirtz. The SS should be a hole player with good offensive awareness, or none. The center forward can have any playstyle as long as he has good link-up ability. For extra instructions, I'd give deep line to one of the wingbacks to create a back 4 defense, or to both of them for a back 5 defense. Here's a table of player selection. My anchorman went too high up and left a huge space between the midfield and the defensive line. With 3 at the back, it can be risky. First, I built up near the left sideline, then I noticed on the minimap that the LMF wasn't marked. A long pass to switch sides is effective in this case. Giving a deep line instruction to at least one wingback is essential. The attack is connected after a DMF like Xhaka makes a pass to the front 5. Giving a deep line instruction to the other wingback strengthens the wide defense. Wirtz's role is to connect the DMFs and the attacking unit. Then the wingback makes a well-timed run.
He's found a way through. So a reprieve for the time being.
Again, Wirtz's freedom in a possession-based playstyle is crucial. Building up from the back against the opponent's pressing, be extra careful when using this 3-2 build-up formation. Then the attack progresses out wide.
Good feet. Oh, now here's an interesting matchup. Kimmich. Yeah, this kind of bold running will always get you into areas of possibility. And here's Fitz.
A badly timed pass from my DMF. It's a costly mistake. What a terrible pass. Feel free to try some long shots with the DMF if there's space. This pass helped the team beat the press and allowed the attackers to face only the defensive line.
For the first breakthrough, and it is nearly half-time now.
The opponent isn't pressing, allowing my 3-2 build-up system to patiently find the next passing option. Then this quick pass connects the back 5 and the front 5, accelerating the attack. In this system, it's important to find the right timing to pass to the wingbacks. Having a good link-up CF also makes the attack simple and effective. Even after adding a deep line instruction, having 3 at the back during a counter can still be vulnerable. This can be solved by using the second system.
And the referee brings it to a close. Germany are walking off.
The second tactic is to replicate Xabi's counterattack approach against possession-based teams. So the team playstyle should be quick counter. The players can be the same, with an adjustment in formation and instructions. The formation should be a 5-3-2 or a 5-2-3 with Wirtz as a left AMF. I converted the orchestrator or B2B DMF into a CMF to allow him to join the attack more. Then I gave only one wingback an attacking instruction, so that the other wingback can form a back 4 during build-up. Here you can see a flexible 3-2 and 4-2 build-up system. It's definitely safer against a high press compared to the first possession formation.
I've got a feeling he's going to be a real handful scene too.
The attack is less flexible but more direct.
Germany are still to register a shot on target. As a matter of fact, a shot of any type.
Another example of breaking the press from the back.
Van Dijk. Now Romero. Hakimi. No.
A compact 5 at the back defense followed by a quick counter.
Really disappointed with that pass. Look, the game is full of
You can use different types of center forwards. If you use a fast goal poacher, it's quite effective against a high line.
And the shots. Cut short.
Another direct counterattack.
Your impression so far, Jim?
I think the manager's pondering his options as to whether to stick or twist Peter in view of the time remaining. He might have a...
There's the shot. Lynch.
This counter involves the same players. It's recommended to give at least one fullback an attacking instruction.
He has slightly undercooked that one.
that was just poor decision making and a weak execution.
And what a shot. I think it's great to convert a DMF to a CMF because a back 5 defense allows the front players to move higher.
Oh, that is a good ball to find. A real chance! Oh, that was vital.
I thought it was going to happen then.
Box-to-box CMF like Android.
Can they realistically expect now?
Cruyff.
In this game, I actually started with the possession setup. In the first attack, it looked like the opponent was very good at keeping the ball, so I decided to switch to a counter-attacking approach. Sitting deep against a possession-dominant opponent.
Who do you think this turns on, Jim?
Well, Peter,
Once again, sitting deep, making a pass to a link-up CF like Harry Kane. The opponent's defensive line was way too high, and my whole player took advantage of it.
He's through and all alone. He's got the shot away.
The same type of counterattack, just don't overthink it. Act quickly.
Kimmich. Half an hour played now. And if you have just joined us, still just one goal between them. And the score is 1-0. Here's the cross. Punched away. Played back in. Oh, what has happened?
A tight defense frustrated my opponent.
Messi.
Wirtz then showcased his playmaking skills, especially against a high defensive line.
Just the goalkeeper to beat. Now the finish.
It's good to have a fast fullback here.
It's loose and there's a
Try
rest
attacking on the
ball.
side where the fullback is given an attacking
Please spark a
instruction.
counter here.
It can be either the left back or the right back.
Steaming forward. Looking for the runner. There's the hit. It's in for trouble. Now it's Kane.
a lot of space here, a real opportunity.
Now it's Phillips.
Oh, that's such a good run. More of that, please.
Oh, lovely feed. He is such a good mover.
Only 44% possession in this match. Xabi Alonso's varied game plans can be adapted against different types of opponents. Thank you so much for watching. Will you give Xabi's tactics a try? If you enjoyed my content, please subscribe, like, share, and comment your thoughts.